What's up, folks? Welcome back to another episode of the Otaku Kickback Sessions. As always, I am one of your two co-hosts, Easy the Shinobi, and as always, it's the ever-reliable Green Specter. How you doing today, my man?
Yo, what's up? You mind if I take the lead on this one? Because,
Ooh,
I kind of don't want to hear you talk this early in the morning.
what do you mean? I thought you liked talking to me early in the morning.
Eh, it's like a 50-50.
Yeah, stay away. Nah, yeah, but go ahead.
So, first, I want to talk about 9 Anime, or as it was renamed, Aniwave.
Mhm.
It is a pirated site that it's probably been one of the most long running anime pirating sites that has been around since
It's
I want
been
to
a
say since our middle school days.
Yeah, it's been around for a while because that name Nine Anime does sound familiar. I remember, I think that's where I ended up back in high school. I think that's where I watched like the Boo Saga from DBZ on that.
Yeah. Well, they shut down last week.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
And if you visit their site, they have a farewell message
Mm.
that is just posted on the site, and this is what it reads out. Hi. It's been a long journey since 9 Anime, Anywave, first appeared, creating better products, and provided its users an experience with the completion to drive the market to enhance product is something that we are very happy about. Now that everything has improved, it is also time for us to say goodbye. It is a difficult part with something it is difficult to part with something that we have invested in so much effort and passion into, but it is something that we do. Thank you for standing by and supporting us through this time. Every game must have an end, and life is about experiences. Every mistake teaches us lessons that will help us grow. If possible, please use legal paid services. It is something we should do to show our respect to the creators and the content produce. Goodbye.
Man, that's that's tough. Yeah, because like you mentioned, it's Nine Anime or any wave. It really has been a part of our kind of like our middle school, if especially if you were looking for manga back in the day, where essentially it was mainly buying through DVDs and stuff, right?
Yeah,
Or yeah,
it's but here's the thing. Um, I feel like I can speak on most behalfs where it's like if you want to watch some like old anime, like Inuyasha or um, one of the I'm gonna I'm gonna sell myself out. One of the ones I grew up watching that I really shouldn't have grown up watching was Cutie Honey.
I vaguely remember that one.
Yeah, people were like, "Oh, Android 18 or Kagome was one of my like first waifu crushes." Like, no, not for me.
What are your
my
first?
my first anime crush was Honey Kisarage.
Oh, I
That
mean,
was one of my very first waifus.
that just shows that you're a man of culture. That you've been in the game long enough and know the underrated waifus that don't get spoken about a lot.
Oh yeah, 15-year-old me loved watching that shit.
Yeah. No, yeah, but no, man, it's
But
that's
but you know what I mean though, right? Where
yeah.
it's like when you want to relive some of the older anime, where it's like, oh, I want to look back at my childhood, and you go through your paid services and you realize that it's not on there
Hmm.
because of either certain reasons or they weren't able to get their hands on like uh, some kind of agreement, like, hey, we
Hmm.
want to stream your full season on our site, and then for some reason they're like, no, we can't because yada yada yada. Some of us go to illegal sites just so we can relive those moments.
No, no, yeah, kind of like something like Bleach, for example, where basically it started off with, say, for example, like a Crunchyroll, and then when Thousand Year Blood War came out, it's like, okay, now we're moving it to Hulu, so it's no longer on Crunchyroll, and so now you got to watch the whole thing on Hulu, or for Haikyuu, where it started off on Netflix and then Crunchyroll, and then basically got taken off both to go to another streaming service. But yeah, like aside like Nine Anime, where you had the catalog of all these old school animes, like basically Yu Yu Hakusho, Inuyasha, DBZ, One Piece, Naruto, and all that. I mean, that was the whole. I mean, that's how we got into anime. Whenever we basically saw it on TV and just like, I need to see more of it. I need to see more of this series, or I've heard about this specific series, and I got to reach out and see where I could find it. That, and essentially it was a reliable site too. Like what I did like about it, it was one of the sites that it didn't have that many like pop ups as well.
Oh yeah.
No. Oh yeah, but yeah, I mean it does. From basically how it sounds like on the message, I don't know if it was I don't know if it was taken down due to copyright, or I don't know if it was. It seems.
It's not really much said, but I have to assume that they've been at this cat and mouse game, dodging copyright lawsuits. That they just decided, we're gonna shut it down, leave a farewell message,
Hmm,
because sites like those, they can dodge copyright strikes or copyright lawsuits
hmm,
by just simply changing the IP address on the website
hmm.
to something else. But they can't, like they said in the message, every game has its end. They can't keep it up forever.
Right, that's true, and at some point it does get extremely stressful when you're constantly essentially changing IP addresses and making sure that your servers are still up, or that you haven't been copyrighted, and you have to kind of switch again and and transfer over the catalog to the new website, and basically make sure that that new website still keeps up and running for like, hopefully for like at best a year, but at worst it ends up being like every 2 months that it's taken down again, and you have to move the episodes to another to another IP address. So I do feel it like in the end it's like it does get tiring, and it does become a stressful thing to do. So uh, I could totally understand from that aspect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
Moving on from that.
one last thing, just a quick thank you to Nine Anime and Anyway for helping us find more joy and helping us look into more of our different favorite anime series, so that way we could so that way we could grow our fandom for basically whatever you watch on there for it. So rest in peace to Anywave.
Yeah, rest in pepperoni.
Rest in pepperoni.
Moving on from that one,
Hmm.
let's talk about the bullshit of the PlayStation 5
Oh my
Pro.
god, dude! I once I saw. Okay, so you know how I think I told you this when we were hanging out like a few weeks ago. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait until because I was looking to upgrade my PS5 because I got the OG one that came out during the pandemic, right? And
I got mine a month ago, and you said it was the newer version or something.
yeah, it was the newer one. It was supposedly, I think they call it the Slim. Um,
Nice.
yeah, so essentially, and I told you I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait on buying like new games until the PS5 Pro comes out, so that way I could essentially upgrade it and get like hopefully get like a faster processor and all that.
Yeah, you kind of want to regret
Oh
or
yeah,
maybe
no,
rethink your decision.
no. As soon as I saw the price and as soon as I saw the presentation, I was like, fuck that, no, no, $700.
Yeah, $700 or 699.99. 700 bucks. And me, because I'm a big well, I'm not huge on math, but when it comes to money, I am very good at it.
The most important math.
Exactly. So you're looking at like let's say you go to your local GameStop.
Hmm.
700 bucks plus tax, depending on what state you are, what city you are. There's like state tax, city tax, and all that stuff. You're looking at 725, maybe 750
Hmm.
for a PS5 Pro.
Fuck.
And supposedly it's the best of two worlds because it has supposedly a larger GPU that computes at 67% with faster RAM at 28%,
Hmm.
along with advanced ray tracing and an AI driven upscale that they're calling the PlayStation Special Super Resolution, or the PSSR.
Jesus. Uh,
Like,
yeah.
here's the thing. No, every game developer that like says, "Hey, you PlayStation, we want to put our games out to you and all that stuff," they have to realize that not every game supports ray tracing.
Exactly.
The only game I can think about that supports ray tracing is Minecraft. And even then, you need to have a beast of a PC to run Minecraft with ray tracing. Now,
Yeah.
having ray tracing on a console, I think that is a horrible idea.
No, because you also risk essentially kind of. So the reason it works more better on PC is because with PC you at least have the cooling. You have the cooling engines or the cooling mechanisms to be able to, for the graphics or to be able to support ray tracing. What?
Yeah, but with a console, you have this stupid $2 fan
Yeah.
that's cooling a ray traced GPU console. Like, dude, it's gonna sound like the memes of how the PS4 and the PS3 were. That sounds like an airplane taking off. That's how I feel like the PS5 Pro is gonna sound while trying to run a game with ray tracing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And not to mention that, well, like you said, that there's not really that many games that actually do ray tracing. So it's one of those things where it's like, all right, is it worth justifying the price for $700? And not to mention, on top of that, that's if you basically buy the game digital.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you have to realize that ray tracing it's really good in concept,
Hmm.
but nobody has the best like TV screen that's like 4K and all that stuff
Hmm.
to run a really good quality ray tracing. And why would you want to play Call of Duty with ray tracing?
Yeah, exactly. Like I get,
Like, I'm not trying to see the bulge on the enemy's character, all right? I'm trying to get this headshot.
especially the new Black Ops 6 where they
Oh God.
where they take you in the human shield. Side note, a lot of people have been having some suspect behavior. I've been watching clips on TikTok for it, and a lot of people have been having suspect behavior using the human shield mechanism.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, taking him to the Diddy corner.
the fucking Diddy corner. No, yeah, no, it's one of those things where, in the end of the day, it's like, do you really? Is it really necessary for basically to get that to get basically to pay that much essentially for a few games that only run ray tracing? Not to mention that if you're
There's not a lot of games for PS5 to begin with.
exactly.
Like, the PS5 is, I feel like it's a great idea. It's a great
Mm-hmm.
console.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have one. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, I got mine for Stellar Blade, but that's beyond the point. Um, it's a really good console, but On launch day, there was only like what, a handful of games
Mm. Yeah.
that came out for the PS5.
No, yeah, and either way, it's one of those things where now, since basically the PS5 games or some of the PS5 exclusives are eventually get ported over to Steam, it's like, do you try to reason it, or it's like, oh yeah, you know what, I'm going to continue, I'm going to upgrade my PS5 Pro, when I think when I've heard or when I've read some comments saying for that price you could essentially build like a solid gaming PC and just wait
Yeah,
for those to get ported over on Steam. Not to mention that essentially if you have an OG PS5 and it's still running well, it's like, because I looked into, because one of the bigger selling aspects for the PS5 Pro was also the memory. Was you could get 2 terabytes SSD memory on it, and so out of curiosity, I was like, okay, you know what? How much? What is the price on, like, say something like a 4 terabyte SSD that you could pop into your OG PS5? It's like $300. So at that point, it's like, all right, do you want to spend 700? 725, maybe 750, because the Bay Area's good fucking taxes could be expensive as hell. And not to mention, if you essentially are or you essentially buy your video games on disc, you have to spend another 80 to get the separate disc drive, because the Pro doesn't come with the disc drive.
no. From what I've done my research, it seems like the first launch of the PS5 Pro is going to be digital only, and then later on disc drive. But and not only that, but you know that little stand that comes with the PS5 that allows it to like vertically stand upwards?
Yeah,
That's sold separately.
really?
Yeah.
Nah.
So if you buy the PS5 Pro, which is like 750, and you want it plopped up on your room desk on a shelf somewhere, standing all upright and pretty,
Hmm.
you gotta buy the vertical stand separately because that
Nah.
shit doesn't come with the PS5.
Nah, man, that's some horse shit at that point. I mean, you're essentially price gouging people who are looking to get into this, or who wanted to buy this console, and were like looking to see, like, oh yeah, what are the upgrades on it? Because at least with the when the PS4 Pro,
Yeah, your PlayStation, not Apple.
yeah, exactly. You're not supposed to essentially take out the same system within the same year and say, "Oh, it's brand new." Because I remember when the PS4 Pro came out, that was like $150 more than a regular PS4, but they at least made the upgrades worth it. And even
Yeah, but
uh,
it's like,
nah, it's nah. This is the PS5 Pro on launch is no. It's if you have a PS5, if you have an OG PS5, yeah, or especially if you have one of the new ones, the Slim, we would highly
yeah,
suggest.
just stick with those. Don't get the PS5 unless you're Mister Moneybags and you're like, that's chump change. Then go for it. It launches November 7th. This isn't a paid sponsorship. We're just, I mean, obviously it's not because we're fucking talking shit about it. You know
Exactly.
who else is talking shit about it?
Oh,
Arizona.
you saw that meme too.
Yeah, their official Twitter page posted, "The choice is yours. One PS5 Pro or 700 Arizonas for the same price." Bro, I'm taking the Arizonas.
Same here. Fucking $700 worth of Arizona. You could get, bro. You could be hydrated with Arizona for like the next like 6 months.
Oh yeah, and especially if you get your like favorite flavor. Oh fuck,
Ah,
Arizona sponsor us. We talk nice things about you.
we will never say we will never say anything about Arizona, and we will never say anything bad about Arizona in this podcast.
I don't think anybody can say bad things about Arizona. They're fucking, they're an affordable drink.
That, and especially since their CEO came out earlier this year, and basically when they asked him, like, hey, with the inflation, how, why don't you raise the price on Arizona? He's like, nah, never, because basically the people that buy our drink already have to deal with, like, like raise rents and raise like prices and all that. Why the fuck would we ever make them pay more for for an Arizona drink? And you know what? That's goaded.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so yeah.
They've been $1 since I was a kid, and they're still $1 now. I mean, $1.25.
Yeah.
But still,
Yeah.
I can still go to the liquor store with $5 and buy two of them motherfuckers.
Yeah, exactly. That or basically with $20, man, you're fucking set for the week of Arizona.
And
Well,
with $700, oh, you're set for life.
exactly. Exactly. Fucking
I'd
seven.
rather spend $700 on Arizona than, than the PS5 Pro.
Dude, same here, because at least in that way, you know what? We get some fucking high quality fucking drink, and there's some fucking tall boys and sons of bitches too. So I'm fucking
Oh yeah,
down to spend $700 of Arizona.
fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, yeah, but we do got some good news about gaming. Well, something that I know you're especially looking forward to.
I'm fucking gasming when I heard the news.
God.
So, so obviously everybody knows the voice of Sonic, Roger
Hmm.
Craig Smith.
Hmm.
He's coming back as the voice of Kyle Crane in the new game Dying Light: The Beast.
Let's fucking go.
When I heard about that, I was like, "Yo, this is sick." They released a trailer. Oh, it looks so good. But the first thing that came into my mind was, where does it lie in the timeline of the Dying Light universe?
That's a good question.
Luckily, they posted a tweet saying this this is the official timeline of events. So, in the Dying Light universe from 2015, you have Dying Light, Good Night, and Good Luck. And after that, later 2015, you have Dying Light the following.
Hmm.
And in between 2015 and 2036, you have this gap of normality where
Hmm.
civilization finds a cure, they find a way to combat the Huron virus and all that stuff. But in between those events, Kyle Crane is captured and we never hear from him again. Then
Mm.
afterwards, in the game Dying Light 2 Stay Human, where you have a new protagonist called Aiden that takes place around 2036.
Hmm.
So, according to their official Twitter page, after the events of Dying Light 2 Stay Human, you have Dying Light the Beast, where he escapes.
Mm.
So, from the events of the first game, Dying Light the following, whatever ending you I assume it's the good ending you get from Dying Light the following, Kyle Crane is captured and endures 13 years of experiments
Jesus.
to the point where he finds a way, breaks out, and now the same the I'm assuming it's the GRE
Hmm.
that's doing all these experiments to Kyle Crane escapes and they're hunting him down.
Huh?
That's from the trailer alone. That is what I can assume the game is about. But here's the thing though.
Hmm.
The game Dying Light the Beast was supposed to be a DLC add-on to Dying Light 2, but they saw that there's a huge story to it. There's all of these events. There's all of this stuff for it. There's going to be too much for a DLC, so they said, "Fuck it, let's release it as its own game."
Hmm.
And I'm all for it. Oh, dude,
I know because I know when I got announced, he sent me the trailer for it, and yo, that shit looks insane. Especially since you can see from his POV that when he's hunting down the GRE soldiers and stuff.
he's in beast mode. Oh,
Exactly.
dude, and even that little tidbit where they showed his face and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He has the he has a volatile like eye,
Ooh.
which I can only assume that maybe during the gameplay we can swap. from human to beast mode.
God, that would be fucking insane. Could you imagine that? Like in the middle of it, you essentially fill up, or you essentially have to fill up like a meter or something to be able to basically load up the beast mode, and
Dude,
then you essentially you become kind of like a heightened, like a superhuman, pretty much.
that would be the dopest thing ever.
God, that would be fucking nuts, especially when you consider that like Dying Light has a parkour aspect of it. Can you imagine doing parkour, but like in your volatile or your beast mode?
Bro, I'm a huge Dying Light fanatic. I can assure you, when you go out at night and you're being chased by a volatile, no amount of parkour can outrun them.
Yeah, exactly.
Now imagine you being able to turn into a volatile and hunting down people at night. Bro, no one is gonna escape you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, and especially since they have to try to find shelter, um, to survive the night. Nah, that shit's gonna be fucking insane.
You think Spider-Man is fast? Wall crawling? Ah, you should see a volatile hunting your ass.
God, can you imagine that shit where like you think you're around a volatile and then all of a sudden this motherfucker just shows up like half a second later, even though you just covered like 100 or like 200, 300 feet of ground to separate yourself from him?
Oh yeah, no, and it's even more deadly
Hmm.
because when they spot you, they let out a scream that tells the other volatiles and running zombies to say, "Hey, here's a human. Let's hunt his ass down."
God
So you don't
damn.
have just one volatile after you. You have like a whole pack of them after you. That's why the game recommends don't go out at night, and if you do, be well equipped.
Nah, fuck that. At that point, fuck that. At that point, I would just stay inside. Like as soon as sunset is like, nope, nope, it ain't worth it. I'm gonna just stay. I'm gonna just stay my ass in the nearest building I can find, and because I'm not trying to fuck with a volatile.
Oh yeah, hell no. When I first got a shotgun
Hmm.
in Dying Light 2, and I was like, ooh, I got some shells. I got a shotgun that does 1,800 damage. I'm gonna go to the first volatile I see, bust a cap in his ass because there's gonna be enough damage.
Hmm.
No, no, it wasn't.
This motherfucker took a shot.
I wasted 8 rounds trying to kill one volatile.
This motherfucker survived 8 fucking shotgun rounds and all. Wait, when did they start adding guns to Dying Light 2? Because the last time I played it,
it
it was just.
was it was they added it. I want to say probably a year afterwards,
Oh, okay.
after the release, because they saw a whole bunch of people were complaining that the first Dying Light had guns and all that stuff, but the second one didn't.
Hmm.
So, along with the release of guns, they released a few other mission add-ons as well
Hmm.
that kind of explains why there weren't any guns.
Oh, okay.
And so you do a mission where you apparently with this dude who says like, "Hey, I've been watching you for a while. You're pretty good and all that stuff, but how do you want to get your hands on some guns and all that stuff?" And you do this mission where you're going through an abandoned GRE facility where apparently they were stashing away guns and all that stuff.
Oh shit.
But that same guy that tells you about the guns,
Hmm.
he's the only guy you can buy ammo from.
Oh, okay. So you essentially can't scavenge ammo. You have to go back to that guy to basically
You
restock on
you
ammo.
can scavenge ammo, but it's randomized.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you have a pistol and you find a crate where you have to like pick the locks of,
Hmm.
you have a chance of either getting shotgun, assault rifle, SMG, or pistol ammo.
Yeesh.
Yeah,
That's a good mechanic. I will figure it'd be a pain in the ass, but that's a good mechanic in like in a kind of like in a zombie apocalypse style game because essentially you don't know what you're getting.
exactly.
Man, that's fucking that's pretty sick. Like That's pretty sick at the end.
Oh yeah, but yeah, no, I fucking just watching the trailer of Dying Like the Beast. Oh fuck, dude, I'm so excited, and even Roger posted saying that he's totally excited to get back to voicing Kyle Crane.
God, that's good. That's gonna be nuts. Essentially, you just because I know Roger Craig Smith is the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog, and imagine if Sonic was essentially in a zombie survival game.
Yeah, I do like how there's this fan animation someone did like years ago
Hmm.
where I think it's called Adult Sonic, where it's voice lines and voice cutscenes from the first Dying Light game with Roger Craig Smith. But they made it as like this, like adult Sonic, where he's like swearing and beating the snot out of um, like infected, like Mobians and all that stuff. And I was like, bro, this is genius. How come no one has thought of this?
That's a dude. Imagine if they made a fan made game where it's essentially that, where it's like,
They just reskinned it so it's like Sonic.
yeah, exactly, and you essentially have to hunt down like basically, or you're killing off like zombified Mobians and all that. Imagine they add a little bit of creepypasta lore, and then you see like Flesh Sonic or something.
Ah, dude, I love the creepy pasta behind Flesh Sonic. I'm a huge horror fan.
Yeah, I know. And when you told me about like how Flesh Sonic was based off, I was like, bro, this shit is fucking nuts.
See,
Like, no, yeah, but they haven't announced a release date for Dying Light: The Beast, right?
no, right now it's just you can go on a Wish or not on Wish. You can go onto like the PS5 store,
Mm.
or you can go onto Steam and add it to your wish list.
Ah, okay.
But there's no release date on it yet.
Hmm.
Right now, it's just like here's the first trailer, which I have to say it's in game footage
That's the
from
other
their engine
person.
that they're using.
That's the other impressive part about it too. Essentially, they use actual in-game footage for the trailer.
Yeah. So, dude, I am so excited. I'm
I,
like gooning in my chair.
you haven't stopped gooning about the game since the trailer came out.
Oh yeah.
I'm guessing it'll come out probably like around like early 2025, maybe.
Maybe late 2025. Either way, I'm excited for it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, let's
I'm all about it.
let's fucking get it. I gotta finish Dynamite too, so that way I could get caught up in basically the lore aspect of Dying Light and Dying Light 2. So be ready for the beast. Um, oh, it was so getting into some anime recommendations. I wanted to talk about. I wanted to do what we usually do, like a 3 episode review on a series that I was watching. It's actually one that came out. I think it was around like late spring, early summer, and it is called Windbreaker. So basically, the quick synopsis, and I'll try to avoid as much spoilers as I can on this. So the quick synopsis of it is it follows this MC called Hakura Sakura, and you see on the first episode you see kind of like a glimpse of his early childhood, that essentially he was labeled as kind of like he was essentially an outcast because of the way that he looked. So the way my man's appearance is essentially he has his hair is into two different colors. I forgot the proper term for it, but he essentially has half of his hair brown and then half of his hair white,
Hmm.
and that also delves into his eyes. I think for the eyes, it's called hemochromatic eyes, where one is kind of like well, one eye is brown and then another eye is surprisingly enough it's yellow. Um, and you.
Ignore the background for mine.
Mm,
My nephew's girlfriend is here,
okay, for sure.
and she's very loud.
Yeah, we got to get our own studio eventually.
Oh yeah, eventually.
Eventually. But right now we're broke, so bear with us, folks. Um, but yeah, getting back into it. So you essentially see like glimpses of his backstory that he was ostracized and essentially punished for simply looking different, and from there he kind of
What is this, the 50s?
I know, right? Shit, shit. Imagine
Man,
being,
just because I'm a different shade means I'm ostracized?
yeah.
Damn.
Damn, man, that's fucked up.
I
um,
feel him for real, for real. He just like me.
he just like me, except I don't know how to fucking fight. Um, which actually comes in turn because that's where he started kind of like learning how to distrust people and say, nah, you know what? These motherfuckers, whoever gets close to me, they're just essentially gonna turn on me in the end. So from there, from being bullied and essentially being shunned out of like regular society, he starts picking up learning how to fight, and and then he essentially becomes essentially kind of like a delinquent. And it's like, fuck it, you know what? If this is who they portray me as, I'm just gonna give them what they want anyways. And so the first episode starts off with he's transferring off to a different school, to foreign high school in one of the prefectures in Japan. And so he goes basically before the first day, and his goal in that high school, because he learned about it, was that it's a school ran by delinquents. So his mentality is like, you know what? I'm gonna basically go through. I'm gonna just run the different fades of this school and become like the king of this shit, and essentially be the top fighter of the school. So no one else can fuck with me at that point.
Right.
Little does he know that these are some of the friendliest fucking delinquents that you could find.
Wow.
That shit's crazy because essentially in the first episode, so he's basically walking around the small, it's in a small town and stuff, right? And so he's walking around and he's getting to know the city, or he's getting to know the town, and pretty much he encounters one of the what you would call it, one of the restaurant owners, or one of the people that works at one of the cafes there, called Kota. And so from there, because she's being hassled by like some delinquents that don't belong to the school. I think they're a part of another prefecture. So pretty much he comes in, he beats up the delinquents, and he makes it clear to her. And as soon as and these are three thugs, and he goes into 3 and 1 and bah, 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 lays them out. And it makes it clear to her, I didn't do this to save you. I did this because I get pissed off whenever the weak think they're stronger than they actually are. And so, and so she invites him back to the cafe, gives him some lunch and all that, and basically to thank him for saving her. And, and basically from there he starts realizing, he's like, wait a minute, she's being kind of friendly to me. I mean, she's not really freaked out by my appearance and all that stuff, by the fact that I have like different shade of hair, different colored eyes, and all that. And fast forwarding a bit to in the first episode, and this all takes place in the first episode. So if you fast forward a bit, these same delinquents come back, but it's with a bigger gang this time, and they're just trying, and they basically start wrecking shit in the small town and all that. And then basically you
Okay.
have the different residents and citizens saying, oh, we need to contact somebody for help and all that. And where's the help coming? And then that's when the other members of the Boforan gang that belong to foreign high school show up, and then basically they confront these kind of like outsider delinquents, saying, hey, what are you guys doing wrecking our town and all that. And Sakura thinks, okay, you know what, this is gonna be like a gang brawl and all that. These dudes belong in the school. Little does he know, and this is a surprise to me too, that that's the help of a small town. So
Wow.
pretty much
So
when the
they're like the
civilians
town's
see
guardian.
the, yeah, exactly. they're essentially the fucking town's like security for like you or like the guardians, like you mentioned. And so, pretty much when the people see these other see the or the Bofrin gang come up to essentially stop these outsiders, they're cheering them on. He's like, "Yeah, go kick their asses! Finally, we've been waiting for you guys," and all that. They're essentially cheering them on, which which fucking Sakura sees this and he's like, "Wait a minute, what the fuck is? They're actually cheering for these moves? Like what the fuck is actually going on?" Um, and then from there, like they do. This is like the first like major fight scene of the show, and beautifully done. So it's fucking nuts. Like, they basically go into a gang warfare brawl, and obviously both rank comes out on top. If you haven't seen it, there's like a lot of moving parts, so I do recommend like if you at least want to search it up on YouTube, search it up. Animation is fucking great. Um, and then so fight ends and all that. And then I think during the fight, Sakura gets injured. I think he gets cut on his yeah, I think he gets cut like on his Achilles and all that
Right.
from basically one of the other delinquents, like fucking like Switchblade. And so basically, and so now that the fight's over, he's like, yeah, you know what? Now they're just gonna start looking at me as trash again and all that. No, these motherfuckers like I think there's this old lady Konoha start patching him up and all that, and then that freaks him out even more too. He's like, "Nah, man, what the fuck is going on?" Because he's not used to basically people actually showing him kindness and being overall generally nice to him. And so what they mentioned, and what they show later, what they show like as he's being healed, is that the civilians actually support Bothrin. They actually, look to them as the town guardians and all that. And then in that same space, Bothrin actually cares about the town because they saw. I think they mentioned in the episode too. They saw that essentially the cops pretty much abandoned it, so they took it upon themselves, like, nah, you know what? Since the cops don't want to be here, we're gonna take it. It's gonna be our responsibility now. It's gonna be our duty to protect the people of this town. And
Mm.
and typically you think, okay, since Sakura's a newbie and all that, they're gonna basically kind of like they're essentially gonna big bro him, saying like, nah, man, you got to start out from the bottom and all that to get our respect. Now they just invite him in like with open arms, no problem. Which I swear to God, this dude's reactions are genuinely funny because he legit doesn't know how to react to that because it's all new to him. And he's like, "Nah, wait, what do you mean you're inviting me to into your gang?" He's like, "Oh yeah, you know what? You're wearing the uniform. You got the foreign high school track jacket on. You're one of us now." It's like, "Nah, what you mean? What you mean? I'm one of you?" But yeah, like I mentioned, I won't get into any further. There is some, I guess, some quote unquote character building or character introductions in the first three episodes. Right now, I'm in episode five, where they're essentially fighting a rival gang on a 1v1 tournament, and I will say this: one of the fights on there is low key some disrespectful shit because it's one of the Bullfreen main like leaders and stuff. He's on this fight. He's essentially just countering. He's beating this dude psychologically by just parrying all the strikes and then just kind of like not talking like shit, like "oh you fucking suck" and all that. He's just mocking. It's like, "Oh, what's wrong? I thought you wanted to fight as adults. We're fighting as adults, right? I mean, you don't want to let the rest of your school down. Oh, I get it. You know what? You must be tired and all that." And he's just psychologically like fucking with the dude, and so but that happens after the first three episodes. But yeah, I mean, I would say it's a good watch at least. that for the most part it is mainly kind of like a delinquent fighting anime, but it does have its decent size of a slice of life animations or clips to him and scenes to him, and so it gives a bit of a basically laid back and chill vibe. So I would say, and it's 13 episodes too. So whenever you get the chance, it's worth a good watch. And basically, it was one of the better animes I think that came out in the summer season. This past one. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you guys got the time, that's the highest. Just go watch Windbreaker. If you basically want to watch you want to watch some good fighting. The fighting animations for it are pretty legit too. So you know, can't recommend it enough.
Sounds good.
Yeah, yeah. And oh, now that since it's September, now that we're in September, we're a month away from Dragon Ball Daima
Ooh,
premiering on October 11th, and it barely hit me that Daima and Sparking Zero are coming out on the same day.
are they now?
Yeah,
Oh, that was
yes,
unexpected.
that was really it times up perfectly. It really does time up perfectly. So basically, if you want to get Sparking Zero, if you want to make October 11th like a full Dragon Ball day, start off with a Sparking Zero and then basically watch the premiere of Daima. That's the best way to do it. But one thing I found out on Twitter, I think a few days ago, is essentially because one of the questions that I know we had in mind when Daima was first announced is where does this take place on the timeline? And according to kind of like it's this article that I found on the Xerto Twitter page. Supposedly, there's this insider that gave information where Daima apparently takes place. It's the direct sequel of the Buu Saga.
Oh,
Yeah, and I was surprised, and that was surprising too because I know. Well, Super obviously takes place
after.
after
Yeah.
Boo, right after the Boo saga, right? And so in that aspect, it's like, okay, so where in that time frame does Daima actually come in? And if from the looks of it, it looks like it's right before, or it's either right. Actually, no, because Beerus is already on there, so it should be either right before Resurrection F or right before mainline super because it does because at least according to the insider it was mentioned on the report that it is a direct sequel to the Buu saga. So and from the trailer you do see Lord Beerus and you do see Whis on there, so I think it would be safe to assume that this is right before Resurrection F because I mean I have to look at the trailer again, but I don't think I see Frieza on any of it, or on any of the Daima kind of like clips or uh, preview footage. And so it does look like it might be right before Resurrection F happens.
It would make sense, timeline wise.
Yeah, yeah, it would. And essentially, kind of that. And supposedly, the Daima, the characters that come out of Daima are supposed to be part of the mainline Dragon Ball series. So Daima, at this point, it is a good at least theory to consider that Daima would be part of the main canon Dragon Ball timeline and stuff. Um, but honestly, that makes me a little bit more curious to see how Daima plays out in the season. Yeah, and all that. And see, basically, because seeing as how
Maybe Daima will explain how Goku got so stupid in Super.
I swear to God, dude. I swear to God, DBZ Goku and fucking Super Goku are like, to me, at least it looks like two different fucking beings. Because Z Goku, I'll leave it as this: Z Goku would never agree to the Tournament of Power or to the conditions of the Tournament of Power that Super Goku did.
Oh, no way.
No, no, I don't see that happening. If this dude essentially was for humanity and basically didn't like say for the androids and stuff, where he took them away from basically the major cities, to make sure that no civilians got hurt. Now, why the fuck would he put the universe at risk if they lost?
Right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, who knows? Daima might explain that. It's like, my boy, what is your, what changed your, what changed your fucking brain chemistry to be able to do all this shit? Oh man, but I'm stoked for Daima. I'm stoked for Daima, and looking forward to it. If Sparking Zero and Daima do have basically on the credits like, oh, dedicated to the memory of Akira Toriyama, I'm gonna just start basically breaking
It
down.
has to.
Yeah,
It has to.
it has to. It
Because
has.
this was being done when he was still around.
Yeah, exactly. This was like his last grand Dragon Ball project, and it has to. You have to dedicate it to the man himself. So
As well as that one Chibi series of Dragon Ball that's going to come out.
Daima,
Yeah,
yeah,
that one was his last finished project. They were going to work on some of the manga stuff, but then, of course, what happened,
hmm. Yeah,
and yeah,
yeah.
so no more Dragon Ball after Daima and the new Sparking Zero.
Actually, no, because apparently Toyotaro announced that they're gonna restart the Super manga soon. So,
Really?
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
and I think this is because I think they finished off with the superhero arc in the manga. So I'm looking forward to it. Oh, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Toyotaro's he's a good design. He's a good character design artist and stuff. So I'm looking forward to see what he brings for the manga and how he kind of picks up the story. Speaking of which, let's get into some manga recommendations.
Ooh.
Um,
So you're a fan of quintuplets, right?
yes, I am. Yes,
The whole premise of like one guy choosing one girl out of like five chicks.
of course, of course. I still rep the Church of Miku to this day. She may not have won, but you know what? She was the best damn girl in the series. She's Rutaro's wife by name, or not by name.
Nah, it's all about the Nino gang.
Nah, nah, nah. See, she drugged that man.
Yeah,
Me,
for the good of her family.
the
Everybody just looks at the bad thing, but in reality, she was just keeping her family dynamic safe from outsiders.
Yeah, you have to drug them, man. I mean, Mika would never drug her. She can at least give him a chance. And you know what? She is forever best. She is forever best girl, best sister as a
Of course,
quintuple.
she wouldn't drug him. All she has to do is just cook for him, and that's good enough.
She's trying. Listen here, she's trying her fucking best at that. All right.
Yeah, she tried and failed.
Yeah, so did Nina though. So I mean,
Hey, Nino's a good cook,
yeah,
unlike Miku.
you know what? And where did that get it? Yeah, not in the fucking altar, did it?
Yeah, well, neither did yours, so yeah.
Yeah, now we're both in the same boat. Now, but continue on with your with your manga
Yeah.
recommendation.
So, my recommendation
Mm-hmm.
is called Kobami Shoju.
Kobami Shouju.
I will tell you what it means afterwards.
Okay.
So, it is about this student called Oshi Kayu, who is afraid of women.
Oh, okay.
But, he enters high school and he's like, all right, you know what? I'm going to try to get a girlfriend now. Because, that's what normal high schoolers do.
Exactly.
So, what ends up happening is he gets five love letters. And he's stoked because it's like, oh, no way. You know, chicks actually like me and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Then he gets approached by this weird teacher because he's like looking at the letters in the bathroom for some reason.
Why?
I don't know. I'm not going to explain any much. I'm just going to keep it as vague as possible. This weird teacher uh, peeks over the stall and he sees the names and he's like, oh, yeah, no, you're kind of screwed there, my guy. And
Really?
he's wondering why. And all the teacher tells him is that four of those students are love eating monsters.
Love eating monsters. Like, wait,
So
break it
so
down.
and this is how the teacher explained it. When you confess your feelings to them, you feel emotions. You feel wanting a connection, right?
Yeah.
They feed off of that emotional connection to the point. All that's left is just an empty husk of your former self. You
Really?
you turn from this happy person to like an emoto, just emotionless.
Damn.
And
Shit.
they've and there's four of them. But here's the thing: the fifth letter was given to him by the girl herself,
Mhm.
while the other four letters were left in his locker room. The fifth one was given to him in person,
Mhm.
but because he's afraid of women and he has this kind of like trust issues, this whole manga is him trying to figure out which one of the five girls that confess their feelings to him is the human.
Okay. Okay, so basically, so it doesn't, and I'm assuming throughout the manga, it gives you hints on like who may be one of these kind of like one of these love sucking monsters.
Yeah, the tags are romance, comedy, harem, school life, and mystery.
Damn, holy shit! I mean, that's a new way to basically write up a harem manga, and so pretty much, I'm assuming it goes through like his day to day and all that, and does he ever? I'm assuming he does meet the other four
Oh yeah,
girls.
he meets them all
Hmm.
and he friends them all, but now it's like a mind game. He has to try to figure out which one of them is human and which four are the love eating monsters.
Damn. And is this good? And is this basically kind of is the background of this kind of like you know how some basically kind of monster girl and human romance mangas they take place where the background
No,
of it is got
it's all human.
it's all human. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just for some reason these four girls are love eating monsters. Um, but yeah, it takes place in the human world.
Ah, okay, yeah. Because I was about to ask, is it like one of those things where it's like demi humans and humans occupying the same school together, but and all that, but not
No,
since.
yeah, no.
Oh,
It's all human. It's except for the four girls that enjoy feeding off of like first love confessions.
damn! And pretty much after they're done feeding off of the people, the person that confessed to them, they
They have
essentially
no emotions.
they have no emotions whatsoever. God, that's that's fucking rough, man. And now imagine being already being kind of like nervous or scared to basically talk to women, and now you on top of the fact that you think the happiest day of your life ends up being one of the like scariest and all that because you have the potential of being emotionless for the rest of your life, and
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like Russian roulette at that point where it's like I have to hope that this is the one with the empty chamber, so that way I can continue maintaining my emotions of like love and happiness and all that that makes me human.
Yeah, it's like a reverse Among Us. Instead
Eesh,
of trying to find the one imposter, he has to try to find the one human amongst a room full of imposters.
eesh. That sounds like a really good premise. How many chapters is it?
So it was published on this year, 2024.
Hmm?
It's got so far nine translated chapters.
Oh, okay, cool. So it's a fairly new series.
Yeah,
Nice, nice. And I know you mentioned that there was basically about the title and all that. That basically you mentioned the Japanese title.
yeah. Kobami Shouju, or the translated is Love Eating Girl.
Ooh, okay, okay. Uh,
And believe it or not, the demographic is shonen.
Shonen. Actually, I mean, I could kind of see it, especially if it has to do with mystery. Because there are some shonen mangas, like Love is War, for example. Love is War is actually considered, I think, last time I checked, I think it was considered shonen due to kind of like the more darker aspects of it that happen later on in the manga. So I could see this actually being in the shonen um, pretty much category, mainly due to the mystery surrounding, like, oh, you know, which one of these five girls are love eating monsters.
Oh yeah,
That's that's That sounds interesting. So yeah, check out Kobami Shoje, or Love Eat.
Shoujo.
Oh, my bad. Kobami Shouju, or Love Eating Girl. 9 chapters, and I'm eager to see the fucking mystery behind it.
Oh yeah, and you got to remember that this whole time, the dude has a phobia of women.
Yeah. So.
So not only is he trying to find the one human girl amongst four love-eating monsters,
Hmm.
but he's also doing it while fighting his phobia.
Yeesh. And that phobia, I forgot to ask, does that phobia cover like a specific event, or it's just like,
It'll probably be explained,
hmm,
but like I said, I'm giving a vague description.
hmm.
So if you want to check it out, you can.
Cool, cool. Actually, that's a good idea. It keeps you on your toes a bit to see to delve more into the mystery aspect of it.
Oh yeah.
Nice, nice. And for my manga recommendation, as I mentioned last on the last episode, Deadpool Samurai. So I just got done reading both volumes of it. I'm not going to get into too much details or spoiler details on it because I do think it's especially if you're with the recent release of like Deadpool and Wolverine, and kind of like if you're a fan of the, I'll say this, if you're a fan of the comics, I have a feeling that the manga, you would actually love the manga as well. So basically the premise of it is pretty much the Avengers. They bring in Deadpool for this assignment that they're looking to, and they break it down in a way where explaining that even though basically they're the defenders of Earth and all that, they can't essentially be everywhere in the planet all at once. Because essentially there's still a small group. It's essentially because I think in this one it's the MCU Avengers that you see in the movies like Hawkeye, Black Widow, Captain America, and Iron Man, and all that.
Right.
So what they're doing is that they're creating separate squads in different parts of the earth to be able to protect kind of like the different continents and all that. And Tony Stark, he contracts Deadpool to be able to guard Japan, and all that, starting up what they call the Samurai Squad. And so yeah, and so obviously, Deadpool, at first he's kind of a little hesitant about joining the Avengers. But then when they mention that it's going to be in Japan and that he's essentially he's going to be the main part of the squad, my man gets ready to go to work. Um, and as always with Deadpool, there are some fourth wall breaks, but the kicker of it is it's all manga related and anime related dead wall breaks.
Ah.
And so he's essentially basically kind of packing up. I think he ends up packing up some Shonen Jump volumes on his way to Japan. And so from there, you we get the introduction of Sakura's Spider, essentially Japan's version of Spider-Man. It's you know who it is? It's the version of Spider-Man or Spider-Woman that looks like Uraraka from My Hero Academia.
Mm.
And so she essentially has pretty much the same backstory, almost the same backstory as Peter Parker, where she got bit by a radioactive spider or by like a radioactive spider and stuff, um, and all that. And she gets recruited to be part by Captain America to be a part of the Samurai Squad. And so from there, we get we essentially get the budding friendship of Sakura Spider and Deadpool. And a good part of it is Sakura Spider just kind of being annoyed by Wade's antics and shit.
Like
And
every Spider-Man.
yeah, pretty much. And so basically and so we see that the first main villain on volume 1 and 2 actually, is Loki, and that he's looking for this cloning device in Japan to be able to kind of essentially bring the country to ruin. And I won't say why he's targeting Japan specifically. I will say it does get revealed in Volume 2, and it's actually kind of funny in the end because it has to do with Thor. Um,
Wow, of course.
yeah, pretty much, but not for the reason you think it is. But yeah, pretty much the first two volumes. It's Deadpool and Sakura Spider going on trying to foil Loki's plans and essentially try to stop him from using the cloning device. I will say this: they also introduced a third member of Samurai Squad, which is who is an idol. She's an idol girl, but the reason, and she's a very popular idol, but the reason that they have her, that they're recruiting her to Samurai Squad, is because she hosts a symbiote like Venom,
Ah,
but the symbiote's name, she named them Kage, like as a shadow. Um, and the funny part about it is that the is that the symbiote he has he has basically quick memory syndrome, or he has kind of like a limited memory and stuff. So he forgets easily, in lack of a better
okay.
terms, and all that. But he's fairly powerful, and so the goal, and so basically the first two volumes are pretty much them trying to stop, pretty much them trying to stop Loki from bringing back from cloning all these villains to overtake Japan and destroy it. It's a fairly good read. It's a fairly good read. There is a lot of basically fourth wall break references. There's also an appearance by somebody on there from one of the Shonen Jump mangas. I don't know if I should spoil it or not. Actually, I will. Actually, I will. So just a heads up. But All Might makes an appearance in Volume 2.
Interesting.
And it's funny too because it's essentially in the middle of a battle that Deadpool's fighting against the first big villain in Volume One, which I won't spoil. Is trying to send out a transmission to Captain Marvel to come and help them out, but he accidentally sends it to a random number, and on the little like transmitter screen, you do see the UA logo. And the funniest part about this is that according to this canon, and we could probably assume the My Hero Academia canon, that Deadpool and All Might actually know each other.
Wow, that is hilarious.
It is super funny. Deadpool was there against. I guess he mentions it during the fight that he was there helping All Might during the toxic chainsaw fight. I don't think that was the one where All Might got injured, but I know that was the. I think that was one of the last major fights before he got his injury and stuff. But yeah, it's sort of confirmed that fucking All Might and Deadpool are at least friends.
Interesting.
But yeah, I highly recommend, especially like if you're a fan of MCU and of Marvel comics, if you want to start picking up the manga a bit more. Deadpool Samurai volumes 1 and 2, they're out now. I know they rebooted. They rebooted Deadpool Samurai for season 2, and that's currently going on Shonen Jump weekly. But yeah, I mean, I would say it's a good volumes 1 and 2 are a good read. So go ahead, pick up Deadpool Samurai and get ready to be entertained because that shit is low key kind of funny. All right, so I think we covered all that we need to cover. I know we're about to go head out to the movies to go watch Killer's Game. I'm super stoked to watch that.
I gotta say, growing up, you idolized The Rock,
Mm.
but as an adult, you realize that Batista's way better.
I would agree on that. I like watching Batista's basically movies more than The Rock's because I don't know. To me, it seems like The Rock just sort of plays the same character in each movie.
Yeah, that's the thing though. He plays a character that doesn't lose.
Yeah,
And that's the whole reason why they didn't go with the whole Shazam versus
Black Adam.
Black Adam, because Shazam always beats Black Adam. But
Yeah.
the thing is, because The Rock is playing Black Adam, he's like, no, I'm not doing it because my character shouldn't lose and la da da. It's like, dude,
Yeah, that was that.
take an L once in a while, you know?
Yeah, that was a
Kind of
bummer.
like how you are now.
Yeah, that was a bummer to see in the end that at the end of Black Adam that basically Shazam didn't confront it. But I mean, that movie's a few years behind. So, but right now it's just I'm mainly just like to watch Killer's Game and
Oh
see.
yeah, from the trailer alone, it looks really amazing.
Yeah.
Like I'm just so stoked that we're gonna be watching it like today.
Yeah, and basically, because I've so far the early reviews of it came out that it's like it's a really good movie, so I'm like hella stoked for it, and all that. So, but yeah, that's capping it off. We're gonna go ahead and you know what, for the next episode, should we do the first kickoff of the one idea that we had, where it's basically kind of like versus battles and all that.
Maybe, maybe not. Depends.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I mean, we do this bi-weekly, so it gives us enough time to go in and do research and stuff. But yeah, we'll see. We are planning to do that soon, one of these upcoming episodes. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, just you know, uh, yeah, it's gonna sign off now. Make sure to like and subscribe and follow us on Otaku_Kickbacks on Instagram. We're a fairly new podcast, so we do have a low number of followers. So in case you wanna check us out and all that, and looking forward to making more content. But yeah, go ahead, like, subscribe, follow us on YouTube or on Spotify. Also working on the back end to upload the catalog of episodes so far to Apple Podcasts and stuff. So be on the lookout for that. Uh, yeah, for Green Specter, I'm Easy the Shinobi. You guys have a good Saturday. This should be coming out on Monday morning, Monday afternoon. So yeah, thanks for coming to the kickback again.
All right.
Later.